Hi, this is Denise Matthew. I hope you're doing well. I'm back again to talk about the new moon happening on June 18th, 2023, and this will be happening at 26 degrees Gemini. As I spoke about with a full moon earlier in the month, this new moon has got a lot of the similar gates that we saw back then, and it is sort of reactivating some themes, but the way it's reactivating it is in a different line and also with different planets. So we had the gate 33 back in the full moon in the beginning of the month, and that was where Mars was. Now Mars was kind of pushing us to continue to move along, to not really slow down, to not take in the memories of where we've been and use the tools that we've been given along the way in our journey forward. Venus is now in the gate 33. Venus brings a much different flavor, and the flavor is really about more of aligning with the idea that yes, there are times when we need to have a pause and a break in our lives and to be alone and to sort of sit with our thoughts and our process. And when we do actually take the time to be alone, to be in our own space, to be away from everybody, and I mean everybody, it is a time to sort of be in your own aura and to understand what is going on in your space and in your life. And ultimately, I think in a lot of ways, it can get rid of the noise that we're used to having all around us and allow us to go into our own center and even maybe potentially activate a connection with the universal with universal consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, divine energy, or something that is much greater than you. Maybe this consciousness has been trying to give you messages, and yet when you are too busy in the world and life and all the things that we have to do to live on planet Earth, it sometimes becomes problematic in that you can't hear the messages that are specifically for you. So the gate 33 is one way that we can sort of step into that energy of being able to listen for those messages, being able to receive those messages, and being able to see something that potentially we wouldn't see had we continued to be busy in our lives. And the other perspective is that we have the sun and the moon in the gate 12, line 5. And the gate 12 is an alone gate, and so is the gate 33. So really bringing this message of aloneness. Now, the energy of the gate 12 doesn't say that you always have to be alone and you don't want to socialize or those types of things. But what it does say is to honor where you feel you are in the moment. And if that means that you want to go out and have fun, then go ahead. But if it means that you want to stay home and kind of do other things and sort of be in your own space, then that's perfectly fine too. What the gate 12, line 5 really brings home as a message is this idea of who you're actually spending your time with. I think it's really pushing the message of fear of missing out, which a lot of us have, where we're worried that what if I don't do that thing? What if I don't socialize? What if I don't go to that party? What if I don't go to that event? What will happen? Will I miss on something? Will I miss out? Basically, what the message is that no matter what we believe, when something is part of our destiny, we will meet it. Sometimes we'll meet it later than maybe we could have had we been sort of open and aware to what's happening around us. But eventually we will meet our destiny. And what that gate 12, line 5, which is exalted, the sun is exalted there, it's really saying that you have the ability to kind of sift through who matters to you and who doesn't. Who are you spending time with potentially in social events or social situations that actually is not someone you even really would want to spend time with, but you're doing it because you feel like you should do it, or there's some benefit to it, or there's something that is kind of pushing you to continue to do it. And again, this fear of missing out or fear of not getting that information. And I think in the world that we live in, where the information is so prevalent and it's everywhere you look, that idea that you might miss on something very important is always kind of in the back of our minds. But what this is saying is that you won't miss what's important. You will not miss your destiny. You will not miss what is meant for you. But spending time with people who really just don't align with you or don't make you feel happy to be with them may not be in your best interest. And this is where we're really sitting with the idea of who are the people that I want to spend time with, and who are the people that I could probably let go of. Those are big decisions to make, but generally we know already the answers, but it's the change. Do we want to make that change? Do you want to actually step in and say, okay, maybe I'm going to start to move away from this energy because it no longer aligns with me. And this could be you growing as an individual, where once upon a time you like to enjoy time out with certain individuals or certain social events or certain things. And now it just doesn't feel like it fits you anymore. It's like a costume that you no longer fit into and you just don't want to. And wrapped around this idea of socializing based on how you feel and your mood, we also have the full 35-36 channel in play. And this actually won't be activated again until, like, it will always be activated by the moon, because the moon's always going to be going through the gate 35 every 28 or so days. But as an entity where it's going to be sort of for a longer period of time, like a week or a few days, we won't really have this energy in play until December. So this is kind of the last little bit of energy that's giving you a heads up on where you need to put your focus, where you need to put your energy. What experiences do you need going forward in your life? Where are some things bubbling up that need to be taken care of that maybe you haven't seen up until now? And it's sort of illuminated to you. And now you can see where you need to put more attention. So this is sort of the last time until December. And when we get to December, it'll be this idea of, okay, you've gotten these lessons, you basically have looked at the places you needed to put your focus and attention. And in December, we'll probably look at it and go, okay, how is that working? And are some things needing to be tweaked at this point? So the gate 35-36 is experiential energy that is cyclical. And what it's saying is that this is where we're living our lives. This is where we jump in and we really don't know what we're going to get until we're actually in the pool. Then we can see all the things that are happening. Now, with Neptune in the gate 36, that's not necessarily always going to be an availability. We will not always see where we're having to kind of shift up and change things. So this is an opportunity that is opening you up to something that maybe you may not see, and then suddenly it's illuminated. We also have Mercury in the gate 35 line 1, and this is in detriment. And what this is really talking about is a true sensitivity to what people are saying, the criticism that people might, decide that they want to give you without you even asking. This sense of rejection even can be a theme, which is very difficult in life. But what this is saying, it goes back to the same theme that we're talking about with the gate 12 line 5, and this idea of, who are you spending your time with? There are those people that are in your lives that you may consider a friend, but maybe that friend, you've outgrown them, and maybe that friend is keeping you small, and maybe they always have kept you small, or a relationship or a partnership or somebody you work with, and yet you kind of put up with it because that's kind of always the way it's been. And suddenly you look at them and maybe they're saying or doing something in a way where you're feeling disempowered, and where normally you might take that in and register it and go, okay, well, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe they know, because I do respect this individual. Suddenly you're looking at it from a different perspective and saying, okay, they're saying this, but is it true? And if it is true, then you have the ability to shift and change and move forward in life. This is ultimately separating your true people, the people who are in your life, and they should be in your life because you feel empowered with them. And if they do give you some criticism or constructive criticism, you feel like, yeah, that is helpful. And I've seen that perspective in my life. And I know that it's a stumbling block for me. And I know that I can have growth if I start to work and heal that. Alternatively, you could have somebody who you feel drained after you're with them. And you finally see in that moment that the relationship that you once had is no longer the way it used to be. So this is where you're really taking a hard look at those people that you spend time with, your people. This new moon is saying we have a finite amount of time in our existence, and how are we going to use it? This is really encouraging you to pick and choose what feels good for you and move forward. And ultimately, we're here to have a life that we feel good about. And if there's something or someone that's making you feel not so good or not so empowered, or you feel like really run down and dragged out after you spent time with them, then this is just asking you to look at that relationship, see if it can be healed, or whatever feels right for you for your particular case. And everybody will be different in what they see in their bonds and relationships. We add in one more theme, we have the Earth in the gate 11, line 5. And this is really a sense of wanting to be accepted for your ideas, for your concepts, for the things that you can bring to the collective. This is a hopeful energy. This is about wanting to bring light into the world. Now, ultimately, you can do a lot of work with bringing light into the world by being yourself, bringing your concepts and your ideas and all those types of things. But it's important to keep in mind that the gate 11 is part of the 1156 channel. And this is projected energy. When we talk about projected energy, this is energy that is called out of us. People ask us for our stories. It's like if you were out shopping or something and you're just kind of, doing your grocery shopping and somebody comes up to you and they start telling you this story, and it might be the most amazing story, and it might be something inspirational, and it might be something that you would love to hear. But in that moment, they're just telling you your story and you're just trying to get your groceries, and you may not be as receptive to that story. But if it's in the right circumstances where you are prepared, open, and aware, and sort of enthusiastic about listening to this story that they have to tell you, or this concept, or this idea, or this inspiration, or something that they want to do to make the world a better place. So, it is about timing. It's about timing. It's about clarity, because the gate 11 is an ajna gate, which means that it takes time and clarity to really come up with the right ideas. But this is about wanting to infuse light and positive energy into the world. The thing about this energy is we look at all the things that we could do, the inspirations that we could bring to the world, and how we can inspire people, and how we could sort of make the world a better place. And there's all this excitement and passion that you want to do it. And sometimes you might even just start, giving away your ideas because you want people to sort of see you as somebody who can do something positive in the world. But what this says is that somebody might just take those ideas and sort of walk away with them. So right timing and the right place and clarity and waiting for the right people to share yourself with will make a huge difference. And, have that reception that truly you deserve, as opposed to somebody kind of rushing away and going, yeah, okay, that's great, and just not really aligning or even really listening to what you are expressing. So that's another part of this. So it is really about the right people and, the right timing and aligning with how you feel in the moment, the moods, and especially when we have the full emotional channel, which is activated, it's that we're aligning with what we're feeling in the moment and honoring how we feel in the moment, instead of trying to force ourselves in a space where we may not be our best self, and people may not get our best self. And when that happens, you lose that opportunity to make the impact that you truly do want to make in the world. And the last thing that's interesting about this new moon, it is the last moon where we're actually going to have the nodes where they are right now, because they will be changing on June 26th. From a human design perspective, we have a couple nodal shifts that happen in the same period of time, because there's about 5 or 6 gates per every sign. So as the nodes move through a sign, they hit different themes. So it's broken down a little bit more than it would be if we're just looking at it from a Taurus to Aries perspective. So we are moving into a new nodal cycle, and this is the 350. We're moving away from the 27, 28. And the 27 and 28, because the nodes they move in retrograde motion, they go through the lines from the 6 right down to the 1. And now the gate 27 and the gate 28 are in the first line. So when we look at that, this is always the foundation of the gate, and it's giving this last boost of energy of what that gate meant to you. So if we look at the gate 27, line 1, this is called selfishness. In a lot of ways, we could kind of liken it to the gate 55, line 6, divine selfishness. So we are moving from this selfishness of just me, myself, and I, to divine selfishness, which says that when I am taking care of myself, I can share myself with the world, because I have the self-love and energy to share with the world, as opposed to always giving to the point of emptiness, where you're literally like a car driving around with an empty tank, and you really, you feel like you still have to carry people around, but you just don't have the energy to do it. And this is saying you have a full tank of gas, and you can drive around and you can care for the people that you need to care for, because you are actually respecting and loving yourself. A lot of people may ask for things from you and need something from you and want the caring and the support and the nourishing. And that might be something that you've always been able to provide, or you may have gone to the point of depletion to provide this for other people. And yet now you're looking at it and saying, okay, I only have one life to live. And this is where we're sort of reminded to receive as much as we give. The gate 28 is just reminding us that when we're moving forward in life, getting all the details is very important, because when you have all the details, in other words, it's saying research those things that you want to get involved with. If you do, then you might see what is for you, what is sort of worth your while and what isn't. And with that said, I hope you have a wonderful new moon, and I will be back again soon. Until then, take care and bye for now.